Broadband internet access is faster than traditional dial-up access that was used probably 10 or 15 years ago even. There are various forms of or transmissions for broadband access. Some folks can access broadband wirelessly. I think that's probably what a lot of people are familiar with. So on your cell phone, when you use data, you're using broadband technology wirelessly. And then something that comes up often we talk about is fiber, and fiber offers a lot of bandwidth and a lot of speed. And that's the conversation we have with folks a lot, is how to get fiber to homes and businesses in rural Nebraska. I think there are a couple of different things really important to ag in Nebraska and rural Nebraska generally. One is just the technology involved in agriculture now, how much we use and rely on technology and access to high-speed broadband just to do our jobs, and resource management, operational management, all of those things. It's constant data usage and tracking. I think those are really important things, and we need to keep that in mind. But also to bring young people back to rural Nebraska and to be involved in agriculture and other rural businesses, we have to keep in mind that access to broadband services, high-speed services are really important. President Trump himself was in Iowa talking about the importance of rural broadband deployment. So it sounds like the federal government is going to make some dollars available to states who are willing to engage on, in making rural broadband deployment a priority. So obviously, Nebraska Farm Bureau has been hearing about this issue. We're engaged on not just the agribusiness front, but the producer front. We've heard about rural connectivity for a long time, and it was a priority of ours. But I think we doubled down when we heard the federal government wanted to be helpful and wanted to get engaged. And Nebraska is one of 26 states that has a state-level universal service fund. And right now there are a variety of conversations happening about how dollars go into that fund and how they're being utilized. And that's another big priority for the Nebraska Farm Bureau. We're going to continue to engage the state legislature, and we're going to try to get our members engaged in those and get the word out, just that Farm Bureau is involved in these conversations, and it's a priority for us because we know the demand is there and we need to meet those needs. We've been participating in these roundtables to talk about what coverage in Nebraska looks like, where folks are receiving broadband, where they are served, where they're underserved, and where there's no service at all. As demand grows, we need to make sure that we have good wireless service, and we also need to make sure that folks are getting fiber where it's needed, especially for small businesses. So ag and other rural businesses, they need that fiber in the ground, and that's the really high cost stuff. And we understand that there are efforts not just from private companies, but also the public power districts in Nebraska are getting engaged. They have a lot of infrastructure that they're willing to kind of negotiate some public-private partnerships on. So we just are looking at every angle, and we want to make sure that we're at the table and we're part of the conversation to do what's best for our members.